Hello, everybody. Welcome to Make It Monday. And today we are hemming with a wing needle. Woo, there's Amy. There's Jim. Hello. How's everybody out there? Hello, Elaine. Happy rainy Monday. I know man, but I'll tell you what, I cannot complain. I am so sickened and sad for all our friends in North Carolina and in the South. I watch those videos and I just can't believe my eyes. It's so devastating. So for those, we're sending warm wishes. I know you don't have internet or phone, but whenever you get it back, we're sending lots of love and prayers. Yeah. Okay, so Jim was just in Richmond, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Richmond, Virginia.
No,
Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg.
You were down there somewhere. So
Yeah.
doing the original sewing and quilt expo.
Yep.
So that
was a great show. If you missed it, you got a chance to go to
Brandy, Caroline.
We're in Nashville.
What's next?
Nashville.
Did we lose our camera?
Yeah, I lost the camera.
Uh-oh.
But we'll be in Nashville next week. Well, this week, and then next week, Cincinnati.
Yeah, wow. Nashville, Cincinnati. So anyhow, we'll let Jim fix that camera before I show you what we're doing.
I think I got
Hi,
it.
Susie from North Carolina. I know we have family in North Carolina, but they live, I think, I don't know if they live south or north or whatever happened, but they weren't not affected. So hi, Carol. Donna Lee.
Hey, Donna Lee.
Hello.
We were just talking about you, Donna Lee.
This is all about you today, girl.
Yes. Yeah, because it's what's really nice whenever you get to travel for the Original Sewing Quilt Expo. I get to meet people from all over the United States, get to meet a lot of our followers face to face and in person. And Donna Lee told me of a project she's working on. So I thought that's going to be the perfect opportunity to make it Monday.
Yep. You can always comment if there's something you want to know, something you want to learn, right? Because sometimes like it's a 11:55. Jim goes, "What do you got for Make It Monday?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you got for Make It Monday?"
Well, because for me, it's kind of lucky because when I get to meet people like Donna Lee, I can kind of put it in the back of my head, or I make notes for myself and have a backup. So if you already have it planned, I got a backup.
Yeah, perfect.
So then we're set for next week.
All right, good. So we're doing wing needle. If you missed the intro, Jim's going to do wing needle hemming. The art of using a wing needle has kind of been forgotten, I guess, since, Martha Pullen days when we did a lot of heirloom, we did a lot of linen. You know what, Jim? I think for Flippin' Friday, I have an embroidery file using a wing needle.
Perfect.
Maybe we should just round out the week with what can I do with a wing needle. So, all right, James.
What a wonderful idea.
I know. What you got hiding over there? Oop,
well,
let me drop that a little bit more.
Oh, okay, she fixed it. Well, the first thing you're going to do is you got to put the correct foot on your machine. And all of us have like that traditional standard presser foot, but when you turn it over, it's flat on the back. And that, helps make perfect stitching for traditional sewing. But when we're doing like wing needle work, anything with a texture, we need one like this that got a groove in the back.
Has a nice tunnel so that, because it does create a little heavier stitch, a little bit of bulk. So you want that to go smooth.
So you want to have that little groove there. And also too, if you have one like this one where it has a clear insert or an open toe, whatever you're comfortable working with.
Let's show a picture of the wing needle again. So those who jump on late.
And I have one installed on my machine, but this is what it looks like in the package. You can see it looks like a bayonet kind of.
I love her because she's got big hips, right?
She's
got big hips.
And what's nice is they're not sharp, so you won't get cut like you would with a knife.
Yes.
All it does is the needle will penetrate the fabric and the sides push the fibers off to the side. So it creates like a little hole. It doesn't cut the fabric. It just.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it just pushes it aside.
Right. It's just kind of boring its way through.
Yeah, I don't want to even like perforate because that still sounds like it's cutting, because it just kind of like it does. It's the Moses effect. It just kind of pushes the threads aside.
All right.
And that's what it's going to do. So you have that in your machine. And then with your fabric, I like to use a little bit of starch with it. And then if it's a double-sided fabric where it's pretty on both sides, quite often I'll just fold it to the top and I'll sew it that way.
Is that cotton or linen?
This is all cotton, what I'm using right now, but a lot of times on our finer linens, you get really nice results. But if you can't find cotton, linen available, a nice medium weight cotton, light to medium weight cotton works really well. And this one I already went and pressed it once, it's always a good idea to have stabilizer with it. And when I was going through like our little collection of stabilizer, I didn't find my usual like light to mid weight tearaway. My backup is always a good press on like this. So this is like a paper back. And what I kind of like about this even better is it's actually gluing the fold in place.
Wait, what is that?
This is your stick-on wash-away
Oh,
stabilizer.
stick away wash. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's like
I'm looking at the camera angle and I'm like, what is that?
so
Okay, we're
it's
good.
stick-on wash-away stabilizer.
Which
that
we know
paper
you love that. Jim has.
Oh yeah,
We could do a whole class on what to do with that. We
Yeah.
make rope bowls with it. We've
Everything.
done everything with it.
well,
so.
look, I'm not even holding my fold perfectly in place because one of the problems is that whenever if you have an issue with foot pressure, because sometimes you may have to adjust, and on this machine I didn't adjust it, you may get a shifting of the fabric hem. Well, this way it's holding the hem in place for me.
Right. That's great for cover stitching too. I got to say.
Oh yeah, it's ideal for that. And then since this is thin enough, I can actually see the hem right through it. You can see that's shading there. And when I'm going to position it, now this was a single fold. If I was going to do a double fold, either one, I would have it where the center of my foot is just to the right of that raw edge of where the hem is, so that way the decorative stitch that I would choose would catch all the fibers and it would keep it from fraying. And then again, if it's like a lightweight, I may want to do a double hem. And all I'm doing is I'm not looking at the needle, I'm looking at where that shadow line of my hem lines up on my presser foot, so that it's going fully off to the side. And I already did one like in a different color.
So
it
are
makes
you
it
splitting the hem? Like, are you doing like half
would-
on one layer and half on two layers? Is that
2/3 to the right
okay?
of the hem and 1/3 is to the left. And that way I know that every bit of that fold or that raw edge is covered by stitching.
Right, and that's what you need though. You're covering that raw edge, so it kind
Right.
of is a double finish.
And I forgot to mention too, when I put my needle on, make sure you manually insert the thread through the eye of the needle. Don't use your built-in needle threaders.
Yeah, no needle threader. And we have to talk to Zach about the cutter. I wouldn't, just because it's safe. But look how beautiful that is. We're going to show the stitch here in a second. But that wing needle did a lot of work.
Yeah.
And this stitch is on dang near every computerized machine, and people don't understand what it is.
Pretty much. Well,
Right.
I did a couple different samples too.
Okay, perfect.
Because when you look at it this way, okay, I can't really see what I have here, but if I pull the stabilizer away, it's right into the very edge like that. So all my raw edges are covered, and there's all different kind of patterns that you can have on your machine. But what really works is if you do like a forward backward one, so here I had that same stitch that I did earlier, but up here it's a double cross stitch.
Right. And so Donna Lee is asking, what thread are we using?
I'm using a traditional embroidery thread because whenever I was doing the test earlier this morning, you can use regular sewing machine thread. It doesn't show up as well on camera.
Right.
Because of the reflection. So it's going to be the look you want to get, Donnelly. If your linens are going to have some embroidery and you're using embroidery thread, I may want to do it with a little shine. But if I want it to be subtle, I would do regular sewing machine thread.
Yeah, if I was doing like a christening gown or something like that, that 100-weight thread is amazing.
Oh, that'll be perfect
because
for
it
that.
shows the holes like nobody's beeswax. So the lighter your thread, the bigger your holes. The heavier your thread, the smaller your holes.
Yes.
Oh,
And-
we lost you. Hold on.
Sorry, but there we go.
This camera's going crazy.
And this was just like a triple cross, zigzag, where it went in the hole 3 times. So it went forward, backward, forward, then the next one. And every machine has that triple straight stitch. And if you were in my class last week in Fredericksburg, we know we used that triple straight stitch in class. That's what it looks like when you do it with the wing needle. So it's a very nice, heavy, straight stitch, but it does a forward, backward, forward motion to make a little bit of a hole in between the two.
Right. So Donnelly wants to make napkins. So this is perfect for napkins.
Yeah.
This is perfect for napkins.
And then I even found another little kind of hem stitch there where it alternates in between the two.
Anything that punctures more than once is
Yes.
a good wing needle thing.
And this one turned out really good. That's a blanket binding.
Oh, that's
or
awesome.
a pointy Paris.
Yeah.
The one on the side went forward, backward, forward in the same hole 3 times before it went ahead and just once across. So the forward, backward, forward was in just the fabric, and the ones across was into the folded hem.
Right. And Jim's stitching on a Brother Stellaire XJ1, right? So
Yeah.
all these stitches are very common in a lot of Brother machines.
And just to show you a little difference, here's that same first stitch. But what I did was I put 2 strands of thread through the eye of the needle to make it heavier.
That's very heavy.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see what it would do. So if you want a little more pronounced look, you could just add a heavier thread or 2 strands, and same thing with that triple straight stitch. That's with 2 threads through the eye of that needle,
Right.
which made it a lot heavier.
That's awesome.
And then of course, if you want to do it in a different color, just to see how you could really see how the stitch looks.
That's awesome. And I just have one comment about the sticky wash away stabilizer. Make sure it's totally gone before you don't press that stabilizer. A hot iron will cause puckers that will never come out. Ask me how I know. Because if y'all saw Flippin' Friday and the dog scarf,
Yeah.
that's a prime example.
It's
of
that
what
moisture in it that does it.
Yeah. So Susie said, beautiful. Looks like my pillowcases. This is and originally this was on Trudeau, right?
Yes.
French to join. We joined 2 pieces of fabric together with this.
Mhm.
And a lot of times you see that in very high end linens.
Yes.
So we could do a whole series.
And that trim, I think,
Nothing
is like
but, yeah.
$20 a yard now. If
Oh,
you can,
yeah.
if you can find it. If
We
you can find it.
I know it's so hard to do anything. So I'm gonna put this back on us for a second so don't get dizzy. So you can kind of show your the stitch that we're using. And I think the
Oh,
camera just
okay.
kind of I quit. It's time for a different camera, a different something. I'll just hold it. How's that, Jim?
Oh, that works.
Let me just okay. Let's
Okay.
let's
So
put it
let's
back. Oh, now it's backwards. Now it's sideways. You can still sort of see the
Yeah,
stitch,
that's
right?
kind of like
So that's the most common. And
yeah.
we call
And-
that an Trudeau stitch.
And
right?
what it's doing, it's sewing forward, backward, forward, but then also in a triangle. So depending on your machine and how they programmed it, they may have done a triangle first, then a forward, backward, forward motion, and then a triangle and a forward, backward,
Right.
forward motion.
But those little stars all work. All of these
Yeah.
kind of, you're just going to have to run a test sample. So gosh, can I say this? I love the stitches so much. You know me, I'm 17. I really like those stitches a little more
Yeah.
than
Everybody has their own favorite. So
Yeah,
I would definitely go and try whatever stitch you have in your machine. If you're making your own handkerchiefs or napkins, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and test out on scrap fabric to see what you like or spare fabric.
Yeah, Donna, you have some great stitches on your Skyline 7. Absolutely. And then she has a question about corners. So
I
basically,
knew she was. Thank you, Donna Lee,
Of
for
course.
tuning in.
okay, you try to adjust the camera before I turn everything
Let's
back
see,
on
help
again.
it.
I don't know what I did to it. I screwed it up really
They
bad.
do it right. I can see right here.
Can you do it right there?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry for the camera angles, people. There we
Okay.
go. And
Good,
of course,
good.
white fabric on a white, dirty white cabinet.
So, and I'm gonna have to do a different end. There's my.
Here's your
That's what I
sample.
want. My
Okay.
sample fabric there, and just to help see. That's what I like it when we do it live because we're just.
Oh
Really
yeah, we
raw.
mess up constantly.
We mess up, so they don't have to.
Sandra's here from Dallas.
So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay.
Charlene says, thank you for spending time talking to us on Saturday. They must have ran into you in Fredericksburg.
Yes. Oh, it was a pleasure meeting you, ladies, in Fredericksburg. Okay, so here I got a corner. What I'm going to do first, and this works better if I had an iron with me, but I would press up one side.
And this is starched fabric.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
And then open it up. Oh, when it pressed. So, and then I'll do an equal amount on this side.
You need scissors.
And then what I'd probably do is I'm going to go and trim that. And of course, I have to be a little careful because if I'm going to do a double hem, or this case, I could do a single because that overcasting will go ahead and cover the raw edges. It's better. And I'm just going to fold it down like a little miter just for me so I can see how much I need to take off on that fabric. So you can see there, I kind of got a little fold there. So since I have this little fold, I may go 1/4 of an inch past that fold.
This is why they want to join the guild at Amy Sews,
Yeah.
right? Because you present on a problem, we try to fix it. We do show and tell of our projects that are already done. So Yeah.
And since the gild's like a lot longer time frame than we have right here,
Yeah.
we can really go into depth. And then see that I have this folded up, and I'm going to turn that over, press, turn it over, and then press it. And there I got a really nice miter. And then this is again where, and I know you're going to pick on me, Amy. I like my stick-on wash-away stabilizer.
No, Jim, that's amazing.
Because it'll hold it down like tape. So
Right.
this way, there's no shifting. If I use like my tearaway works great, but the only thing is it's going to allow movement because it's not fixed to something.
And when you go to tear it off, it's going to distort those holes.
Yeah. So if I use the wash away, I can take the wash away stabilizer and stick it on. It's going to hold it in place. I can either stitch it from this side or the other side. And then to make sure it washes out, because when you read the package directions, a lot of times you get frustrated because it says rinse out the stabilizer. Well, it doesn't rinse out because you cut off, and when it dries, your fabric's kind of crispy. What you've done is you've dissolved the stabilizer, allowing the fabric to absorb it. So what you want to do is put a little bit of liquid laundry detergent in the rinse water to make it a wash water. And what will happen is the chemical will dissolve the stabilizer, causing the fabric to repel it. And you'll just have a really soft fabric again.
Right. Yeah, that
And then what you can even do is some people like to put a little bit of white vinegar in with the rinse water to act as almost like a fabric softener. That'll actually get every trace of wash away stabilizer completely out.
right. And so you just to make, once you do that, and of course, I guess you could just soak the corners, but once I do this with the wing needle, do a linen, and once it's washed and it's pressed, it is like nothing else on the planet.
Yeah.
I love me a good linen napkin. I'm bougie, and
And the thing too is that when you use the tearaway, there's always going to be little fibers within that stitching.
you'll never
They
get
don't
it out.
go away.
Right.
Where with the wash away, it's gone.
It's gone. And you know what? I think I'm going to talk to Anthony. What if we did wash away stabilizer in a tape dispenser, and you could just pull off little bits at a time instead of.
That would be a lot easier because I've been cutting mine in rolls.
Right. You always have this junks. Oh my gosh. I think I
Yeah.
just invented something.
And you can also even get like a very lightweight tearaway stabilizers that work too, because some of the thinner paper ones that are a little more stiff do wash out after
Right.
several washes.
But that's a great way to do that miter corner. You got to get rid of that bulk.
Yeah.
And Kathy again said she tried to watch, but the Zoom didn't work. So here's what we're going to do. You still have 15 days to join and become a founding member. Of course, this is not done yet, but you're going to get a gift from me. You're going to get this panel in the mail that makes one of our scrap catchers. We had I designed custom fabric in our colors, and then yes, so you'll get that till the 15th of October. I'm going to send out an email to everybody who's on the wait list, everything, and we'll post it in social media about another Zoom, right? So you can just jump in and or maybe we'll just do a Facebook Live and talk about it, what we're going to do. But it's basically show and tell for you guys. I want to know what you're sewing. We appreciate what you do. If I do something like magnificent and I'll show it to Zach and he'll go, I said, how is it? And he goes, that's nice. He doesn't understand the hours and the time. So we want to celebrate you guys with show and tell. So that's what the Zoom, that's what the Guild is all about. We have a special guest every month. We had Joanne Banco in September.
Yeah, that was
so
great.
It's good. So anyhow, we're gonna give everybody a couple more opportunities to jump in by the 15th to get the founder's gift. So we're excited about that. So as Caroline said, so the Guild meetings, so Donnelly, the Guild meetings are about an hour-ish, but they're always recorded. So you log back into Amy Sews and you can watch them, right? Ahead of time, you can send an email at Support Amy Sews with what your topic is and what you want to show and tell so we can get you on. So we have a question, Caroline. Caroline does the most magnificent rope bowls I've ever seen in my entire life. Could you use the wash away basting tape?
Possibly, but you may have to do like 2 layers.
It's a little gummy.
Yeah, and it's a little
gummy.
See, this was designed like the wash away stabilizer that I was using is designed for a lot of needle and thread action.
Yeah.
And to be to completely dissolved away, where a lot of the basting tapes are more for like straight stitching and don't come apart as well.
Okay. All right. So in the guild, somebody just asked the question. The guild meeting is at 7 p.m. Eastern, right? So that's almost my bedtime. All right. So how is everybody? Good. So that was great, Jim. So we did our wing needle.
Yep.
We used wash away stabilizer, and we could do, and I think Flippin' Friday, I will post an embroidery design for the wing needle. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah.
It's a great.
Do you have one, or do you need to get you one?
I may have one back in the archives, but it wouldn't be hard to digitize one, I don't think. So I will see what's going on. So okay, everybody, have a terrific Monday.
Thanks for watching.
We appreciate you guys so much. So again, prayers to all our friends who are dealing with this flooding and electricity issue. And all right, sending everybody a virtual hug, because the more you know.
The more you sow.